Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I love how the universe works because I was thinking of getting a massage this weekend. It's been a little while and I was going to treat myself. And then here's Renee Koepke on my screen, and she is a licensed massage therapist. And there's no better feeling in the world when you get a massage, but what kind of massage should you be getting? What should you be asking for? There's probably things there that we don't know that could make the experience even better. So we're going to learn more about that. Renee, welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. And so many times when you go to a spa or a place to get a massage, you might look at packages and many of us are never exactly sure what we should be asking for, what we should be getting. So can we go through some of those today?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I mean, two of them I always see is Swedish massage and deep tissue massage.
Right.
I don't even know the difference. A lot of
What
times.
is the difference between the two? It's for someone who isn't educated in the field, it's really hard sometimes to understand. But I'm here to explain it to you today.
Yeah,
So
let's
a
do that.
Swedish is a classic massage with mainly a flat palm. So the strokes are going to be long and smooth with the flatness of your palm.
Okay.
And a deep tissue, in contrast, is going to use more of a fist, knuckles, elbow, forearm, and it's going to get into the deeper pressure points.
Would you be best getting, if you can deal with some more pressure, better to get a deep tissue massage to see benefits?
I think I would agree with that. Yes, I would side with the deep tissue massage because it's more therapeutic.
Yeah.
The Swedish massage is more just relaxation. So it really depends what the client's goals are for which massage to choose.
That's what I was thinking based on what you just shared with us, because you can
Right.
always dial back the amount of pressure. And again, that's one
Yes.
thing that we should
I
really
can
talk about.
always do a deep tissue with lighter pressure. It does not have to be firm pressure. And one thing I think is really maybe kind of problematic in the viewpoint of the client, they have the idea that deep tissue should hurt or that it does hurt. And if the therapist is doing it properly and going one layer of muscle at a time, there shouldn't be any pain or discomfort involved. It should be just as relaxing as your Swedish.
So when you're digging into somebody with a deep tissue massage, should you be hitting the first layer first? Let's say you're using your elbow and you're hitting the first
Right.
layer of muscle first. And then once you attack that or deal with that, can you go a little bit harder into
Exactly. You're going to go one layer of muscle at a time.
the
So, like for instance, in the lower back, if I remember correctly, there's like 10 layers of muscle in the lower back.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So the therapist has to get, gradually deeper and deeper and deeper until they get to the base layer of muscle.
If a therapist digs in too fast, too hard, is that where we get that pain instead of like
Yes.
working the way in?
You're gonna have some discomfort. The body also has a way of reacting. There's gonna be possibly a twitch happen, or the body has different like receptors. I don't want to get too into the anatomy. I don't want to get too into the anatomy of it, but the body has different receptors that basically, if the therapist goes too fast or too hard too soon, the body is going to resist.
Okay.
So it's much easier for the therapist to go slow and gradual.
How much pain is okay?
You want to say 4 to 5 out of a level of 10.
And that is the initial, because I've been there, you're lying on the table, they're going in, they're digging, and it's like, okay, Yeah, and then sometimes you're at that point where should I say something? Should I shouldn't? But
If you're at the point where you don't know if you should say something, there's a concept called therapeutic edge in massage therapy. And that's where you want to be. You want to be right on the edge of pain and or I'm sorry, not pain, discomfort and a release of the tension.
okay, gotcha.
So that's why the 4 to 5 is so important. You want to be up a little bit on the discomfort scale, but not so much that you're squeezing the table, that that you're resisting. You don't want the body to resist.
Yep, gotcha. Okay, and I'm gonna turn the car for a minute here because it just popped in my head, and I wonder about this. With what you do as a licensed massage therapist, do your hands ever hurt?
Sometimes, yes, especially on the clients who request a very firm, deep tissue massage and they keep asking for more pressure, more pressure. There is a limit to how much pressure I can give. And
Yeah.
I have learned the hard way what my limits are. I've hurt my shoulder in the past
Wow.
from I injured myself from giving too much pressure for too long. So I know what my limits are now, luckily, and I think that's a great question. Thank you for asking.
I always wonder, and sometimes I feel bad.
No, I'm trained in how to use my hands,
Okay.
so I'm not using too many repetitive motions, so I'm not putting strain on them unnecessarily. There are over 128 techniques in Swedish alone.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, like every therapist is different on their techniques that they like to use. There are so many ways to use the hands for massage. And I think it's really interesting how different techniques will produce different results.
So we're going to get back to different techniques and all of that, but I'm kind of curious now that we're talking about you, your hands, and what's your history? Like, how did you decide to be a massage therapist and help people feel better?
Well, it's actually a very personal story. um, I used to suffer from fibromyalgia and many allergies to environmental allergens, and I think I was allergic to mesquite and cephalosporium. So that is a mold that grows in the soil, and it's rampant when it rains, when it's humid. So I had a lot of symptoms, and I was always wanting a massage myself. And I went through, I guess, a bout of recovery because I'm much better now. I have been for many years, haven't had those symptoms where I'm always wanting a massage. But with the increase in my health, I found, more motivation and basically just wanted to use what I learned in school to help other people who were suffering, similar to what I had gone through.
So massage made you feel a lot better.
Oh, yes. Yes. At one point, I had one of my ribs slip out of place, and I went to a chiropractor, and they massaged me and did an adjustment and got everything where it was supposed to be. So,
I can't even imagine.
it's more painful than breaking a bone.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, or breaking a rib. I mean, it's slipping.
Yeah, it's very painful. So,
What do you?
I learned about the wonders of massage therapy firsthand, and I just decided I wanted to do that for, the people who need it.
How does somebody have a rib slip out of place? Were you doing
It's
anything?
I think I bent over to put on my shoe.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a floating rib, and
Okay.
mine, for some reason, I don't know if the ligaments that hold it in place were loose, but it is called slipping rib syndrome, and it's very rare.
Never heard of that. Of course,
Yeah.
broken ribs, cracked ribs, always heard of that. Very painful, but I got to imagine this is probably close to that amount of pain.
It very much is, yes.
Oh my
So,
God.
it's wonderful that massage therapy can help in so many ways.
I've often heard lactic acid is released during a massage.
Yes.
Yeah, what exactly is that? And
You know,
what?
there's a big controversy on that.
Hmm,
If you Google, like, if you Google lactic acid and massage, you're gonna get some mixed answers.
hmm.
But for the most part, like in my reports for the state of Texas, I have to justify all of my massage therapy techniques with my clients. So I have a contract with a local agency and through the Texas Department of Health and Human Services. So in those reports, I have to explain why I'm using the techniques, what they do. And so, like, I've had to research percussive therapy, heat therapy, those kind of things. And very specifically, percussive therapy, it's it's like a massage gun where it's tapping on the muscle and it penetrates up to an inch deep. So we're getting a lot of circulation going on at that time. And the circulation basically pushes the lactic acid out of the cells, and the lymphatic system ends up taking care of it. So it's always, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of how to put this into words. It's always like you hear after a massage, you want to drink a lot of water to flush the toxins. And basically, if you don't do that, you're going to be a little sore
Okay.
after your massage. You're going to be a little sore if you don't hydrate. So, very good question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, these are things that just stick around in my brain. I've always heard after you have a massage, you're supposed to drink a lot of water. Now I know why, but I didn't know what would happen if you didn't. But yeah, how many times have you
Right.
been to a massage?
So, yeah, anytime we're massaging the muscles, we're going to upset, the fluids that are in the muscle itself.
Gotcha.
So it's detoxifying in that the circulation takes care of getting rid of the lactic acid. There's other byproducts as well, but lactic acid is the one that's more well known.
So you just mentioned the lymphatic system, and there's not enough spoken about that system.
No, there's not. And that is actually my gua sha facial massage does basically a lymphatic drainage on the face.
Wow.
So that is one of my favorite things to do.
So before we jump into that, why don't we explain the lymphatic system, how it cleans the toxins from your body? There's different points in your body, lymph nodes and such.
Right.
Yeah, could you go a little bit deeper so we have a more better background
Well,
on that?
very simply, there are lymphatic nodes throughout your body. You have them behind your ear, through your neck. There's some in the auxiliary. There's some down the legs, especially behind the kneecap. There are different points in the body that these fluids go through, and it's its own circulatory system, just like the blood. So you activate the lymphatic system by very gently applying pressure superficially to the surface of the skin.
That's
And I'm not trained in lymphatic drainage specifically.
Mhm.
Like I have not taken a manual lymphatic drainage course. That is on my to-do list though. But the concept, it's very easy to understand. So you want to push fluids like toward the heart. So if you're working, from the feet up, you're gonna go, I guess it would be called distal. I don't want to use too many terminology words, but anyway, yeah, you're just gonna work from the feet up toward the hips, and then from, the shoulders down, from the stomach. You can do special stuff on the stomach as well to get some
Wow.
movement in the lymph.
It's
So it's very interesting.
Yeah, and nobody really digs deeper into it. And I spoke with a woman
No.
earlier this year, and her life mission is to educate people on the lymphatic system. And she even created a book. I'm
Oh,
digressing
wow.
here, but this is what I've learned, that there aren't even a lot of pictures and diagrams of the system.
No,
She
there's
has
not.
photographs from the 1800s, not even kidding, and there's or drawings that they did back in the day because they took the time to look, dissect, whatever, uh,
Hmm.
the entire lymphatic system. And she said, I searched for everywhere. I can't find any photos except good ones, except these back in the 1800s, 1700s. So
That's so interesting.
I
And it's,
Googled,
we've learned so much about it since then.
of course, but there's not a lot of documentation. And
Right.
I couldn't even find pictures. Like I went and I looked, I couldn't even find detailed pictures like she had that came from, hundreds of years ago. But I digress. But the gua sha, that, am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. What is that other service that you offer?
It is my favorite service to do. It is called the gua sha facial massage. It's actually a 20-step ritual that I learned from Snowfox Skincare sent me a care package of some products, some oils, and so I could make a tutorial video on how to do the massage on your face. And like I said, it's just one of my favorite things to do. I've had like spa parties around teaching this. I also teach the gua sha over Zoom or FaceTime or just a video chat one-on-one. And it is with a stone. I believe I have one right here. Let me grab it.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's funny. We started talking about massage. Now we're onto something else. I guess this is kind of
Well, this is still massage. So this is a gua sha stone.
okay.
This is a snowy jade.
Wow.
It It's nice and cold right now because my office is a little chilly. So basically what we do, we put some oil on the stone itself, and just rub it into the stone. And then we're going to activate the lymphatic drainage. So we're going to very lightly just come down here, and then we're going to release the attachments with a little wiggle. So it's very good at draining fluids from under the jawline. And I like to say that it really chisels and lifts the face, and it's like facelift without going under the knife. So
Oh,
yes,
interesting.
you can get rid of like the puffiness in your eyes right here, and especially under the jawline, simply by moving the fluids around with the stone. So
We're going to talk about this.
yeah, I have the bookings are available on heal.me, and I can do I can do a 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, hour session. So it really depends on how much time the client has. Um, there are, focus points. We can do a quick, basic 5-10 minute service, or you can go into the 20-step ritual, which takes the whole hour.
And you can do that virtually.
Yes, I can do that virtually.
So, how do you do it virtually? Somebody needs to get one of those stones before you do the
Yeah,
session.
the client would just, purchase a stone like this. You can purchase them. I have them on sale on my website, on my link tree actually. And you can also order them online from different manufacturers, different brands, or you can buy them at like cheaper ones at Target. It may not be a real quality stone, but it's still going to have the same benefits um, for the purposes of a facial massage.
So, Renee, question there: why do you have to use a stone? Like, why couldn't we? I'm just looking around my office here. Just an edge of something to move.
The stones are hand carved, and they're actually made to fit very easily in your hand. So I would suggest using the stone. You could alternatively use a wooden spoon. Um,
Okay.
there are different tools available that gua sha you can use for them. But for the most part, we stick to the stone is non-porous. It's not going to absorb any like icky bacteria or anything.
Okay.
So as long as you wash it regularly after you use it, um, it's more for the hygiene, I think, is why we use the stone.
And the reason I'm even asking is when I hear stone, I think crystals. I
Uh-huh.
didn't know if there was any property. So thanks for clearing.
Yeah, no, they're supposedly, if you believe in crystals and the properties of um stones and whatnot, they do say that there are energetic properties to these devices, these
And what's it
tools.
called again?
Gua sha.
Gua sha, and the stone is a
The stone is just a gua sha stone. It's like a piece of slate, but
huh,
this is snowy jade.
snowy jade. Okay. So
Yeah, I have obsidian and a beyond stone as well.
okay, obsidian is very popular with those
Yes,
who believe in crystals and stones. Oh, interesting.
yes. The obsidian, I like to use that one for my hot stone facial massage.
Okay.
So we heat the stone up and use it, to massage the face or the body. And it's a very lovely service.
Hmm. The one thing I'm taking away from talking about gua sha, and even you even mentioned it before when we were talking about the lymphatic system and drainage, is it's the lightest touch.
Right.
How does that
It's
work?
it has to do with the lymphatic system. It's very superficially located and does not need a lot of pressure to activate.
That's amazing.
Yes. So, interestingly enough, when we use the gua sha stone on the body, we can use more pressure, like the back of the neck over here, the shoulders. They can take a little more pressure from this guy right here. And I like to use like this wave edge right here. I like to use that if I encounter like knots or adhesions in the muscle, I like to go in there at the right angle and just kind of scrub the knot out.
Wow.
So it's a scraping technique and it sounds scary, but I'll break down what gua sha means for you.
Please.
So gua means in Chinese to scrape, and then sha is the action of the gua, which is it means sand. So it brings up when you do a little heavier pressure, it brings up some petechia, or it looks like bruising. It brings up some petechia in the skin, and that is said to be toxins that are like if you've ever done cupping,
Mm-hmm.
it leaves those red marks, the circular marks on your back. Um, it is very similar to gua sha with the cupping, and it's basically pulling the toxins from your muscles to the superficial cells to be taken care of by the lymphatic system.
So just to clarify, when you do gua sha on somebody's face, they're not going to get that discoloration, that bruise.
No, they're not going to get the discoloration on the face. You are not the therapist should not be using very much pressure on the face at all. So we don't get any sha on the face, but we do get it on the back if there's an area of congestion.
It's amazing what you're talking about, Renee. And number one, the power of touch.
It
So
really is.
the lightest thing can make such the biggest difference. That's number one. Number two,
Mhm.
cosmetically, what you can see potentially, in somebody's chin, possibly eliminating some fluids and
Right.
helping them drain. Um, what a game changer for a lot of people too. Have you noticed?
Exactly.
All right. Have you noticed those changes when you've done the gua sha technique?
Oh,
Number
yes.
number. Okay. And how long does it take to see it?
5-10 minutes.
You
It does
can
not take very long at all. It's um, the skin itself and the muscles underlying the face they're very reactive. So
Wow.
the gentlest technique can get actually what I do when I have a client with this service, I will work on one side of their face at a time, and then I'll show them a mirror and have them look in the mirror and point out the differences in under the eye, the differences in the jaw, the differences in the cheekbone.
Wow.
And they're usually blown away. Like, I have this little mirror right over here in my office, and I'll show it to them, and they're looking in the mirror and they're like, wow, can you do the other side of my face now?
Why wouldn't you do that? You know, so many people go for cosmetic injections, fillers, mini facelifts, traditional facelift.
Exactly.
How long does it last? Let's say you do a gua sha
It lasts
procedure.
2 to 3 days, actually.
Yeah.
It lasts 2 to 3 days. Yeah. One thing that I love about the gua sha actually is that the effects of it continue working. The lymphatic system continues working for 48 to 36 hours. 36 to 48. Sorry, I said that backwards. But it continues to work. Like, you need to keep the area covered, drink plenty of water, and the lymphatic system is just going to stay activated.
You know, it almost stands to reason that they say the face is so vascular, so much going on. Like, if you cut your face, accident, whatever it might be, it bleeds a lot.
Cut yourself shaving.
Yeah, there you go. So, you know, there's a lot going on that we don't even think about within our faces. And again, who would ever think that there's, you know, fluid from the lymphatic system within there? If somebody wants to reach out to you, maybe for some information, maybe book an appointment. I know you do the, you know, gua sha virtually. Yes. I wish you could do massages virtually, because
I know, I wish I could too, but all I can do is teach you the gua sha techniques virtually. So
they go to your website. What's your website?
rklmt.com. And then I also have a link tree that has all the websites that I have, which is linktree/rklmt.
And if somebody wants to get one of those gua sha stones, how do they do that? You have that, you sell those as well?
Yes, I do. I sell them in a kit that it comes with everything you need to do the 20-step ritual.
It's super cool. Like, somebody could have a gua sha party and have Zoom, and then everybody in the room could be doing it. It's almost like a spa party. That's
yeah. And I do the spa parties in person and virtual as well.
So it's rklmt.com, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Renee, great talking with you today. Learned so much, and, you know, especially things that, you know, lymphatic system and the types of massages. Looking forward next time we get a chance to get together.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. And again, learn some more. Go to the website, rklmt.com. All right. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Okay.
You too. Bye.
Bye. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, you know, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.